Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well. So, today we are going to continue the work of creating a social network using artificial intelligence. So, what you're seeing here is simply a social network that I created without writing a single line of code. So, it is 100% handled and developed with AI. It is the AI that programmed, developed for me, and allowed me to create a user account where I can log in with Google, where I can create an account. And also, most importantly, it allowed me to manage an entire back office space that lets me manage users. That project was done 100% with this tool. It's an artificial intelligence. Thanks to a free account on databutton, so we were able to create our application entirely. You will see that there is an entire space that I will show you, helping you exactly step by step to create and develop all the pages of your project. All the prompts I used in this program are in a file that I will share with you for free. You will find all the prompts I launched in this project. You can simply copy and paste them. You will also have access to the database and get free access that I will show you. How to create your database and connect it with your project. And in today's episode, I will show you how I was able to simply define what we call the back office of my project, how I was able to create it. Create a system that allows the user to fill out an entire form, create a project, and be able to match with other users. So if you haven't seen my first video, the one where I show you how to create a project brief, how to create the plans, I simply invite you to click here, just above on the link to my first video. Start with the first video, then there is a second video, and this is the third one. This is a video where I show you how I set it up. Functions that allowed me to create everything you are seeing here with the databutton software. 100% software, therefore free, which actually helped me assist the code with the IAE. I thank you very much and see you soon. So, before continuing the video on YouTube, I wanted to introduce myself for those who don't know me. So, I am Dr. Firas. I am a doctor in artificial intelligence, and today I am a popular instructor on the Udemy platform. So on Udemy, I create courses in several categories. There are those in artificial intelligence and others in digital marketing. And today, I am proud to be an instructor, in fact, who is popular on that platform. You will find that I have approximately more than 50,000 people who have purchased my courses, including 6,744 positive reviews. So most of the courses have the badge, bestseller. And today, to actually thank my subscribers on YouTube, I gathered all these courses into a single link where you can have access to all these courses. I will leave you the link to these courses also with a special code for my YouTube community. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I invite you to subscribe to my channel. I publish almost daily free tutorials on YouTube on artificial intelligence, digital marketing. So I say thank you very much and enjoy the course. I also launched a prompt where I simply asked it to remove that space to prevent the possibility of signing up with Facebook because I haven't activated it in the authentication, but of course I can add it if I want. And I told it to delete it, so it simply executed it here and it gave me the response. It updated the code, and now I have the option to connect with Gmail or create an account using the traditional method. Now, I need to move on to the third step, as you will see here. This is a step where I will create the user account, so be careful when I click here. I see here that it actually made a description, so the description is clear. It added a title. There isn't a very detailed description, but it's very interesting for me to further develop these descriptions, to have a system with much more information, tone, and data. And for that, I obviously called upon a new prompt. So I simply created a prompt where I will ask it to develop this functionality. But be careful, this prompt, I will not put it directly into database or databutton. Instead, I will simply place it on another artificial intelligence so that it can develop this data, this information. So, you should know that today it's true that we are using artificial intelligence, but this one is very advanced in the development and application of my request. If I provide somewhat vague information like that, I shouldn't expect to get something very personalized. Therefore, first of all, you need to work on your footprint and develop. In fact, this information needs to be copied and actually given the details of the details. So how do I do it? It's simple. I first log into my profile. I just did a test with an account just to see a little bit of the steps, the profile, the information. I select the data that interests me. I take screenshots. I just wanted to open it here on the PC to see a little bit of what it looks like, but ideally it's actually better to do it on the mobile app since that app is much more oriented towards mobile. I look, this is the Tinder account. I take all the screenshots that interest me here, and with this prompt that I created, it's a prompt where it will develop the objectives of the function and provide more details and information. I can make a much broader prompt, but this one is more than sufficient. Then I will execute this prompt on Perplexity. So be careful. When I executed it here, you will see that I uploaded the screenshots. So when I upload the screenshots, it will not call the internet. It will focus solely on the large prints that I provided. And from there, it gives me the answer. This is a little bit the summary, or rather, the objective of the function. Subsequently, the information it needs to collect at the level of basic information, all of that, it retrieved from the large prints. Here too, the profit details. Here too, it's the preferences. The options related to that profit. I actually added the lifestyle interest section. So here too, there is this interface, the notifications, because it's very important. Maybe the notifications, I can leave them in a separate step. We don't have to put it immediately in the profit account, but it's possible to add it too. And here, it's information related to the machine interface. So it is. I actually give it an idea of the interface or everything. Simply, I can give him screenshots and he will then take the screenshots to work on the design side. I can leave it for later. I don't have to put it right away. So all of these are information related, even to the menu data information. Here too, designs. So on the design side, it's well developed. So for me, I think, look here, even on the design side, he is giving the details, how I will make the selections regarding all this. You are free to select all this print, or to cut it into subparts so that the system can focus. Because if you provide an enormous amount of specifications, you will see that sometimes it will execute it, that's for sure. But if we cut it, we will get a much better result. That's on one hand. On the other hand, imagine that you don't have any print microns. So, when you launch the print without a print micron, it will call upon the internet. It will try to see, because I mentioned that it's Tinder, so it will call upon the internet to find the information. If you don't have a print micron, you can launch it, it will use the internet. I tried to do the same print without the print microns, and I did it on ChatGPT version 4.5, as you can see there. This is the very latest version, which is highly advanced in the writing and exploitation of ZD. And you will see that here, it simply gave me information, but I actually think that when we have print microns, the detail is much better. It is much more developed. So here, it's too general. In fact, it hasn't really focused on TikTok or Tinder, even the information resources. Look, the sites from which it gathered the information are a bit scattered. There's not really any social networks involved. So there you go. It's not too advanced on social networks. So for me, it's very important to take screenshots. And here it comes back to always having a source of inspiration. It helps us. If we don't have screenshots, we can take screenshots from other applications that we like. There we find the ideal information and we provide it. So, to summarize for me, I always advise you to give this kind of plan, especially in the development of specific IT functions, with screenshots and let the system develop. So once I do that, I will simply copy the data that interests me here. So here, look, I'm going to copy. Maybe we won't go too much into the design. If we want, we can choose not to go into the design. The notification, maybe we'll leave it for later. I leave the application for later once I am working. In fact, for matching and messaging, we will add the notification. So here I prepare. So here I actually copy this part. Look, when I go back to data, here, I return to the line here. There you go. So I leave the first part because it is correct there. And there you go. He moved on to the technical part to set up with the store for the database work. And here I provide the information about, in fact, the data that will be implemented. So it's very clear. There you go. Information, collection of data points. And there is the information. I can also come back here, go to the section, not the design one, but a bit earlier we can go, yes, in this part we will go there. So this one actually gives a little bit of the previews, even how we can proceed to update. Either we leave it, the system handles it on its own, or we can copy profile, creation, screen, design. This is a little bit about how the screen will work. Well, it's possible if you want, you can add it. So here we are going to copy that. It's even more details on the creation, really. We are already providing a lot of details up to this point. It's sufficient. But the fact of adding... So here, this is another part. There you go. And we can even go on to add this part of the dashboard as well. So here too we can add it. Come on, we are going to take everything back. So since we did the work, maybe there you go, let's leave it. There you go. We will copy from here, so we will take it back. There you go. So the profile part. I think up to this point, it's good. Okay, so I'm coming back here. So we erase this part here, and we will paste it like this. So really, we needed to know well how we are going to do it, so that profile creation, skewer, and design, we will erase it, and we will put it back here, since we have ABC, everything. So there you go. So we check. I wanted to show you in real time, so you shouldn't just take, there you go, or that's good. You shouldn't take the prompt as it is and copy it. So you need to apply a bit of logic. Okay, so here I have the step and the limits, so it's saved. I can add comments, but these are internal comments. These are comments for you to remember. And now I start it. You'll see once it's started. So now it's executing this step. So there you go. Thinking, that's important, because it also goes into a thinking mode. It thinks, it breaks down, it takes the information you have provided. And now it's off, so it will actually take a moment to do the development. You need to know, it develops, I test, I check, it's okay, I move to the next step. If it's not good, I tell it again, work more, so the step, that's important. But you saw the importance that you improve. In fact, the print. You shouldn't just take steps like that, step 3, 4, 5, and move on. It's your application. You know what you want, and at each step, take your time to work well, and of course avoid putting a lot of features into a single step. Add one if necessary. You can click here to add another step between the steps. Sometimes you will need to. Sometimes we will need, for example, to remove a step. If a step feels like a duplication or is not important at the moment, we can remove it. And sometimes in the features you need to know. And sometimes you have a function, even if the AI suggests it. You can say, no, we won't put it here, we'll put it later. Like notifications, it's very important to add notifications later, in fact. After developing the matching, after developing the messaging, that's when you get the result of creating and developing the notifications. So at this point, we'll let it work. So now it will program. It will take the time, in fact, to create the process because there are a lot of tasks. And I think even if it finishes here in testing, we will ask it again. To do, resume. Meaning to continue developing until we find that it has completed all the functions. And we can, of course, later on, before moving to the next step, even require a specific design if we want it to work more on the design aspect. Because we haven't provided much information on the design, we haven't put any attachments, so we will let it work on that while we are working on it. And we will come back once it finishes to test and take notes and decide whether we will move on to the next step or not. Well, so it has finished executing. It's very interesting actually to glance over what it has done. It's very interesting to get an idea if there you go, if it has developed all the functions or not, even before seeing it. Look here, as usual, it creates a code, tests it. If there's an error, it tries to fix it, then it moves on to the next function. You will see that here at the bottom, it asks me if I want to block finish what, mark, like finish this function, or if I want it to continue developing. And if it exits, very interesting with this feature, when I provide a step that contains multiple pieces of information, it will try to do its best. But sometimes it doesn't finish all the way. And that's very interesting, because sometimes we can let it run for several minutes. And then, when we test, it works not. So, for him, in the concept, what he does, he tries to create the functions. where he tests and he gets a good result. Then it will ask you if you want to mark it as completed, or simply click on play for it to continue developing. So for me, it's important. I will check, see a little bit of what it has done, and I think I will ask it to continue the work because we have given several instructions, especially in the profit part and all. So we will see a little bit of what it has done. So as usual, you have two options. Either I will click on preview here to see the application's code and test it. And I have a habit of always going towards deploying. I click on deploy the application and then I click here to see the result. And so here I am on my application's interface. So now I will click here to log in here or even create an account. So now we are going to create a new account. As you saw, I have the option to log in with Google or with an email address, which is very interesting. So it actually removed the connection with Facebook, which is very, very interesting. So now we are going to click, there we go, we are going to create a new account. So we will name it, we will make an account like this, test on 3. Okay, so now I click next. There we go, I provide the information. For example, okay, I would put a password here. And I click save. So here, normally it should create the account for me. I can save it. So I think the account is normally created here. Here, it should take me back to the home page. So it should make this disappear. But in any case, these are details that I can communicate to him later. In fact, all of this in a file. It's important to create a separate file and note down the small remarks because we need to focus on the basic functions. Okay, I go back to the queue page. That's good. It has put logout here, but it should give me something like edit profile or the profile picture here. So it should also add that. But let's see where I can edit the profile. It just added that here. All right, so now we're going to click anyway. We're going to test, see if the functions are good or not. Very well. So here I see there's a small default picture. There's the email address. And here there's a small button to edit the profile. Here it actually put like a progress bar to see if the profile is 100% complete or not. That's very good. I like it. Yet I didn't ask for that. But look, so it understood. It added. So here there are the basic information, photos, preferences, interests about me. It's very important. Your matches, that's important. Even if it's not developed yet, that's normal. And here, the upcoming events. Well, I think it's beautiful. It's clear. Of course, it needs to be tested on mobile as usual to see a bit, so the quality of the display on mobile. But so far, it's very, very good. So, but how are we going to change that? I think he hasn't developed those functions yet. But well, he put edit and profit here. He put that too. So I'm going to see if it works very well. So here, he gave me the possibility. So to enter the first name, the last name, or the surname, that's the name, the date of birth. We're just going to test here. It's just to understand a little bit if it works or not. So we're just going to enter some test information. There you go. It's just for testing. We'll leave it inappropriate. We'll just enter information to test. Okay. So for the countries, it would actually be nicer to, but for example, include information. In fact, a selection. There you go, to select the countries. All of this we see we can request it even for the selection. Since then, there's no need to provide the list. It is capable of finding it on its own. Come on, the recording, let's see if it doesn't work. No, the recording doesn't work. Look, when I clicked on save, it didn't work. I don't know if I click here. Well, if it's the same information, but it hasn't been saved. So there are two ways to do it. I would also like to go to the database. Here in the database, it added the profile we made, but it's missing. So here it still needed work. So what I'm going to do before I start asking him to report and correct these errors that I noticed that it didn't save. So the information wasn't saved here. It's also missing in the menu the act of setting the profile with some small refinements in terms of tasks that are actually interesting. Also, when I log in, it doesn't show me a little welcome message. And so, before reporting that, we're going to come here actually. And here, I'm going to ask, actually, who for King? So who? For King, what's it going to do? He's going to start finishing the work again. So then he's going to try to continue programming and move forward. So I'm going to leave him for a moment while he continues to test and see the result of his work. So now he's going to do it. I want to continue. So now he's actually going to check again, verify. The same thing, so I'm going to let him finish. After that, I check. I verify if everything has been done correctly or not and run the tests. There, for example, he has finished making some small updates. Look there. The creation at the level of information and everything. So what I do, as usual, I click on deploy. I give it time to complete the deployment. I wait for it to tell me deployment completed so I can test it and check if the function works correctly or not. Just before running our tool, it's very important here to add a prompt, where I will ask it to give me the configuration that allows my application to write to the database. Because the database, when created with Firebase, you must know that by default, it does not allow applications to write to the database even if we have authorized the domain name, but that is not enough. So that's why I advise you to copy that line and simply ask the agent to give you the information, what we call the rules, to copy and paste into your database. So of course that's the agent. So here we can write our question here. And you should know this kind of information that it will give you does not cost any credit. That means they are free. And so you should take advantage of this sometimes at the configuration level to ask these kinds of questions to better set up your database. So for me, what I'm going to do is click here on copy. And I've already done it, so I'm going to go to my database. Be careful. Here I click on Fair, Store Database. And here I click on Rules. So before, we actually had this rule, which is this one. In fact, this is by default. And as you will see, it does not allow access to read and write. So to be able to do it, you will see that I simply need to copy-paste the code that I'm generating from there. Once I have copied all this code here, you will see that now I can write to my database. Another very important piece of information, I also added a line of code here. Here, to ensure that the application verifies that all data information is written to the database. So this is a prompt that you can also copy, paste it into your system. You will see, thanks to this as well, it actually gave me, so here it is. This is the print I put, and it simply gave me a confirmation that all the information was correctly written to the database. Also, I added this final authorization. This one, actually here, I'm talking about this part. The part in storage. So here as well, because the files, I want them to store the data in GUI, the space, storage. Because in my application I have videos, I might have photos, all kinds of media, and they need to be copied, pasted here, actually installed here. So I'm going to give it the permissions, and that's why when I actually launch this prompt, I've already put it here. You can, of course, copy and paste it. Here is this prompt. So when I launch it, the same thing, it actually gives me a code where I need to click here to copy it. I copy it, and then I'm going to go into storage. Here, I click the same thing on the rule, and you'll see that I simply do a copy. Paste all the code here, and once it's done, you'll see that my application is ready to be tested. So that's what we're going to do. We're now simply going to test it and see if the system will give me the possibility. There you go, to create, in fact, to profit, to update them, to modify them. That's everything. We're going to see right away. Here we go. So now we are going to test our application. We will go to the login section. So now we will try to log in. Well, of course, we can log in with Gmail as well as enter a login here. We are actually going to take account number 3. There we go. This is just, of course, for indication purposes. All right. We are logging in. So now it has just logged in. it directly takes me, actually, to the account. You will see here, I can edit from here or I can edit from there. It tells me that only 50% of the information has been completed. So as a result, it tells me that at least 70% is required. I actually like these indications that it automatically provides. So, since it understood the requirements. And now, here we go, we are going to click to edit. So, we start already, we come back here to the information base. So we are going to try to test to input some information. Just for testing, so here, we are going to test, we will input a license date here. Still actually, there you go. And we are going to input. So there, you have a date. I will leave this here poorly, so I will continue. So there you go. Already it has saved the information. It moves on to the second step. When I look at this interface, I think this button here is useless, so it should have been removed. Well, after a few small design modifications, we can request the same thing here regarding the logo, whatever logo there is. For me, it's always about design, as we said, so everything related to design. We put it in a single file with all the prints and send it once. So here it asked me to add an image or just send it here. Let's test it. Actually, we'll add an image here. It's just for testing. All right, I'll just take this image like this. There we go. I don't know if SVG accepted it or not. Yes, it's good. It accepted it. Let's try to add a second image. I'll put this in. Well, I continue. There we go. It's saved, so there it recorded about me. I will put the 6, just hello. And it's afterwards, of course, here in this whole part, I can put a whole selection space so that it gives me the possibility to select that if I want. So that's a little bit on the perfection side. In fact, I save very well. So there it tells me interested in who. I will put woman. There I was going to, we will put 20, rather 25. Or, well, I don't know if it's there. Oh yes, we can move it. From there to is very, very good. I like that. And the maximum, yeah, it's great. Okay. The distance, that's worse because we mentioned that. In the case of charge, so the distance from where I live, we will go with a radius. Let's say we will set it to 86 kilometers, for example. And that's good too. There's the mile. Very interesting. I click next. Yes, this is very nice actually here. It tells me, there you go, if you want to select. In fact, what are the interests? That's good. I can also add custom interests. So here I would put E. There you go, to test. That's good. The dioxin, okay. Scorpio, I think he must have added other information. Education. Doctorate. Okay, I finished the profile. So there, as a result, there you go. It's 100%. Thank you. Come on, let's see if we click on edit. Will we see them or not? Yeah, so for example, yes, there, on the image side, there's a little issue actually with the appearance of the image. Maybe we need to improve that. By the way, it works. And there you see all the information is correct. So as a result, it's, yes, there. It works. And there, yes, that's progressing. At one point there, it should just say next. Yes, or skip for now. So it's just a small CSS issue here with text display. Okay. So click on confirm. I see that the image hasn't been added, but we can of course fix that issue. There's no problem with that. We can resolve this image issue. So far, everything is going well. We will try to check in the database. So here, I'm going to authentication. Look at the level. So test 4. So this test 4, whites, Python, and dummy 3. So test 3, that's where we made the updates. So that's why. When I click on store state Bize, I should actually find the information. So there you go. I think maybe it's rather this one. Yes, it's this profile here because this is the profile we just added. So here, I know a little bit about the information we put, but if I scroll down a bit at the level normally of the images, this is at the level of the images. So as a result, if I do it like this, just to select this image, by the way, we'll open it in a new window to see if the image opens. There I see. The image doesn't open, so it remains white. So yes, that's not good. So the image, it's the one that wasn't saved correctly. If I go to storage, so just to check, I see that at the storage level, the image hasn't been added. So as a result, here we might need to just refine this with a new request. But already, in terms of results, it's a very good result. I have the profile, I can obviously work on it. There are also other pieces of information that I can add which can be very interesting. So the profit as well, it would be good to add a small profit section here. It would be great to display it in the menu. That's very good. And then we can move on, I think, to the next step. So up to this point, everything is fine. I can work a bit on the image side to simply tell him. I can take screenshots to show him that the image is not saving, that he needs to fix it, and then we will immediately get to work. The next part, which is to display the other profiles. Very well, so I have fixed the image. Upload. Error. But before showing you the results, it's very important that I show you the steps that I followed to fix this error. It's very important to understand the methodology. So at the beginning, I told him, listen, I have an error. With the image, I want you to fix it, and I want the image upload to be done in Firebase storage. That means in my database, Firebase, and specifically in storage. So look here, I didn't take a screenshot, so he went ahead, made some updates in the code regarding the upload. I tested it, it wasn't done correctly. It was lacking. In fact, the upload, the image, does not display. So what I did, I made another print, but this time, pay attention. I added a small upload to show exactly where the image should be displayed. And I told him, listen, after uploading the image, I want you to display it below so the user can select it, which is the profile picture. So she executed that, the work was done correctly, the user can select the profile picture, but the image display is not top-notch. So as a result, it actually lacks some adjustments in the image call. So I redid our print and I asked her to fix the bug in the image call. I want the image to be displayed just below after the call. And it worked well, so I deployed it. We will try to test it a little together. So now I will actually log in. We will connect with another account, Gmail. So here I will click on Gmail. I will just take a test account just to test. I created an email address just for this video to test. So now I will log in with Google. So I click here. And there you go. I just connected with a test email address. You will see that here the photo is missing. So we will edit the profile to fix this issue. So I click here. So we will just give, there you go, just give a name. So for the test. There you go. So I will continue. Here, there you go. Uploading an image, I click on upload. Image, I just downloaded some test photos with AI, so now I open. So here I select the second time. I click open. So now it will load. Normally it should display it just below. We will wait. Very well, the image has just been displayed correctly. Look here, there is the main photo section, so the main photo. We will try to test another one. That way I will put 2 profile photos just for testing. Okay, I will open it. So here, this is the second photo. Very, very good. It has just been added, so I click on continue. We will just quickly, in fact, enter just a few pieces of information just to test. Okay. There we go. We'll put it. It's just like that. Okay. Let's go. So here we will select to watch the view. That we will take 3 pieces of information that we wanted there. It asks me to select up to 10-1, and what if I don't take the 3 media views? Be careful, you need to enter at least 3 centers of interest for the system to work. So here I will try 20. Then we will see if it's the masses it will display, if very, very well the masses display. If I click here to edit the photos, there you go. So I see that I can edit this photo, I can delete them when you see it there, and it's selected. In fact, which photo will be the profile photo. And that's very good. Really, with this methodology, I see that we were simply able to solve the image problem. And there you go, really. It's great. And at the database level, it's important to see. When I go to storage, look, I'm going to redo storage. When I go to storage, you will see that it has created a folder where all the photos I have uploaded are stored by profile, of course. Look here. There you go. That's the photo. So it is well recorded in the storage database. And if I go to the database, if I come here, there you go, you will find that this user is therefore created. There you go. He has the image, but this time an image. It points to Fairbanks storage. So there, as a result, the image is well stored in that space. So we managed to do it. The creation of a profit account with image storage, with the update of profit. And now I think that when I come back here, you will see this step, which is step 3, the account creation. I will simply click on hop, mark, calm down. And you will see that there it has just been created, confirmed correctly. So then what can I do in my social network project? I can move on to the 4th step. This is the step where I can work the system that will match the interests to show me here are the profits. It's a bit like Tinder, so I can look at the different products and select the person who might interest me. To match, to enter into communication, there will be other steps to implement detection and simple match list. So here it's through a list. Afterwards, we can work on an internal chat system, and we can even add the yay in the 7th step. And then set up the electronic PMO to actually pay the accounts and expectant ones. So here it is. 3rd step, it is completed. We can simply move on to the 4th step if we are interested in continuing the programming. And there you have it. We have reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you want to support me, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel so that I can continue creating free videos on the YouTube. And if you want to join my community, Udemy, if you want to have even more advanced, more detailed courses with more examples and practical workshops, I have put 2 packages on my website for you. The first one simply contains all my courses in artificial intelligence, automation, and our codes. And the second one is a complete package. It contains approximately 1,000 hours of training. You will even find digital marketing inside. Don't forget to simply use the code I created especially for my YouTube community. It's a code that is YT20. This one will simply give you a discount of 20% on those packages. Please note, it's a code that is only valid for my YouTube subscribers. Thank you very much and see you soon.